This is our new buggy for a guy named Heath Gardner. Now, he has owned a lot of buggies, but this is his forever buggy.
All white, all white, all white. And a little blue.
So the biggest upgrade on this buggy are these big bad shocks. We have 6-tube, big tube, 3-inch diameter rad flows on this to make this ride amazing. Up here in the engine bay, we have a 427 stroker, which puts out about 650 horsepower. So to go along with the doors for our 2022 models, we have an option for individual panels. Now, you've probably seen some of the buggies that we've built with a single side panel, and in my opinion, I feel like that looks sleeker, but this right here just looks so tough. So it's really awesome to have these doors, but also a cool thing about this particular buggy are these rock sliders that we also offer as an upgrade. It's a great place to use to step up in and out of the buggy, but it also creates a little bit of a barrier between you and the rocks so you don't mess up all your panels. We learned a long time ago that if you want to sell buggies, you got to keep the women happy. So in this buggy right here, we have heated seats, flip the button, nice and toasty. Here at Busted Knuckle, we want to make sure that all of our buggies have the highest quality. So as you go through our buggies and look, you can see that all of the fittings and bolts have been marked with something that's called torque paint. It's the same method that they use in the Baja 1000 to make sure that all the bolts have been tightened down properly and that all the fittings are secure. You take this paint, you put it on every single bolt and put it on all your fittings, and that way you can ensure that they've been tightened properly and that they aren't loosening up. Heath went for the upgraded rear axle that includes our rear steering kit. You get a joystick up inside the cab that you can turn left and turn right, which automatically self-centers using the RAM and these two sensors that we've designed. He also went to the rear trailer hitch option, which is amazing because you can take a trailer hitch or a step or whatever, stick it inside there and go over and pick up a trailer and move it around your yard if you need to. Last but not least, we upgraded a few things inside the interior to give a little bit more creature comfort to Heath. We've got the rugged radio system, which is amazing whenever you're trying to talk to your passenger or you want to talk out to other buggies. We moved the call buttons down here closer so that it's easier to be able to call out. We've got interior lights up here so you can flip on this light and read your map whenever you're out in the middle of nowhere trying to figure out how to get back home. We've got the tilt steering wheel that also comes off. We've got the pedals that move back and forth, and we've got the heated seats. These are PRP seats. These are an upgraded seat. They are really, really comfortable, and I highly suggest going with these guys if you have the opportunity. We've got the rock lights package. I mean, it's just a sweet buggy, man, and it's got a whole lot of really cool stuff inside of it. There it is, man. Woohoo! Nice. Heck yeah, man.
I like it.
So, yeah, let's go through a walkthrough on how to do everything. We'll just kind of talk about a couple different things. Like I said, it's in the owner's manual, but I wanted to show you, always keep your brake fluid as high as you can keep it. without it spilling out, just so that when you start bouncing around, you don't suck any bubbles in. Like if you're at a big steep climb and that thing's not all the way full, you can suck a little bit of air in the system. Power steering reservoir for the front's right here, and you always want to keep it just on top of that bolt. So that right there is perfect level. Your winch plug-in is going to be right here. It's right here on the top. So if you need to plug in your winch, you just kind of do that, plug your winch in. Greasing, you want to make sure that you grease your ball joint eliminators, which are these bronze bushings. You got a grease fitting there and right there. And you want to grease your U-joints every ride. All your hind joints and stuff, you can use that PTFE. We use the W40 Specialist PTFE spray. Obviously the oil is here. We'll go through the procedure on how to check the oil real quick. So this has the accumulator in the back, and that keeps you from starving oil whenever you're in a really goofy angle or something like that. You just want to make sure it's in park. Start it up. And then whenever it's fired, you're going to take the accumulator and you're going to turn it off. And then you're going to check what's in the crankcase with the dipstick. Then you pop this up and you check your oil. Just make sure you're just close to the top of the batch, and you're good to go. Now, if you have the accumulator open and you check your oil, it's going to be up the dipstick that far because it's pumping that oil back into the engine. So when you get done checking your oil, open up your accumulator and just leave it open unless you're checking your oil again. This is your power steering reservoir. This has a hose that comes off the bottom that goes around to the reservoir that's underneath. And what we, yeah, to the rear steer. And what we want is we want to have that bottom reservoir flooded 100%. So this is just basically an area where you can add fluid, and it's going, if there's fluid in here at all, even if it's at the very bottom, that means the one down there is fully filled. Okay. So you just want to make sure that there's some oil inside here. We usually go about halfway. Okay. When you check your transmission fluid, running, in park, warm, and you got to make sure when you check it, you check your transmission fluid, and whenever you come back down, you snap it in. Okay. So you don't want to check your transmission fluid there. You want to check your transmission fluid there. Make sense? Rear steer control box and all that stuff is right here. I have it set up the way that I like it, where left turns the tires left. Some people like it where left makes the buggy turn left. And it's really easy to change. If you don't feel comfortable the way it is, we can change that really easily. It's just 2 wires that switch and everything still works, no problem. So just let me know if that's something you want to do. Your fuses are right here. The owner's manual has all the fuse locations, what the wire color is, and what the amperage is for every circuit. So if you did have a problem down the road with a fuse, you can go back to the owner's manual and see exactly what location everything is. Coolant reservoir. This is just your overflow for your coolant. As the radiator heats up and cools down, it's going to start to cool it back and forth. You just want to make sure it's about halfway or so. The fuel level is fuel here, and you just normally fill it up mostly to the top. Leave about 1/4 of an inch before you get to the top. Got a fuel gauge and all that stuff inside there, so that's all fine. That's pretty much it, man. I mean, they're fairly simple for the most part. It's good. Yep. Go out and beat on her and have a good old time. And she's a beast, man. We've been building these for a while, and they'll take some serious. I like. Any questions or anything? No. Should I have you do this?